No e-girls, not even once. Not even one time. Not even one time. Never.
It's important to emphasize that the simp cannot exist without the thought.
So this is Louis, and it's now closer to the evening. I plan on recording this and heading out for a walk. What's more interesting than this topic of iDubbbz, Ian, and the thought situation, as it were, because if I wanted to, I could bust out the thought news template, which I still have saved. I could bust that out. I could do a full video on the situation, and in some ways it's deserving, because what you have here, his girlfriend, who I'm not going to name because I don't care, Count Dankula exposed the problem here, which is that, like Ethan Klein, he's too big. Like, it doesn't matter. The guy can be an outright cuckold. Like, this chick could be fucking other guys, and he could be sitting there as an outright cuck, and it's not gonna damage him. So that kind of takes away the impetus for me to really try on this, because unfortunately this guy is fucking untouchable. He has enough people that watch his incredibly lazy content nowadays. Like, I haven't watched a video by this guy in quite a while. I unsubbed to his channel like months ago because he just doesn't produce anything worth a shit. So I don't really get it. I don't really understand like what this guy's producing that keeps people subscribing to him. Bear in mind that's not envy, because I once did like his channel. When him doing Content Cop and a few other different styles of videos were impressive. They were good videos. They were funny. Entertaining at the very minimum. But, you know, it's just sad that the guy has shifted dramatically from what he once was back in the fucking Filthy Frank days to where he is now. And while both him and Joji, Filthy Frank, can claim success, I'd much rather be in the position of Joji than fucking iDubbbz. Because even though he probably has made a lot of money on YouTube, he comes across as someone who resents the position that he's in. I don't want to get too deep into this, because every time I do one of these drama videos, I get shit on as a direct result. Like, everybody's fucking faggot fanboys come to my channel and they're giving me shit and calling me names and all this nonsense. When it's like, okay, whatever, like, you need to understand that I'm just here to report what I think. If this guy is not a fucking faggot cuckold, like, that's great, but I'm not watching his shit, and it doesn't change the fact that he's a fucking massive hypocrite. So is his girlfriend, by the way. She's a fucking massive hypocrite, too, but let's not let that get in the way of his low-effort garbage content that is not worth watching. I had somebody say to me on Twitter, like, I haven't heard of this guy, should I? And it's like, well, maybe once, but not anymore, because what the fuck is the guy even doing that's worth a shit? You know, the other day, Ethan put up a video on the H3 channel, and it was mildly amusing. And I was like, what happened to this channel? What happened to this guy? What happened to this content? Like, he stopped doing this content, he created a shitty podcast, and has since become, like, a gigantic egotistical cocksucker that is insufferable. Like, the other day, fucking Paul Joseph Watson called him a simp, just baiting him, just easy low effort bait, and Ethan went freaking apoplectic over it. And it's because he's a fucking egotist. Like, that is why he reacted like that. Like, it's not, people were surprised. Why are you surprised? The guy is an egotist. I'm not lying to you. I'm not bullshitting it. I'm not jealous. I'm not anything. I'm just saying what I see. A lot of this channel is just observational content. I don't hate Ethan. I don't hate his channel. And I don't even hate Ian. Or any of these fucking people. You know, every person that I've lambasted on this channel, I've watched at one point. And it's because I want them to not be an insufferable prick. Or a massive hypocrite in the case of Ian, where he has done videos in the past and content in the past where he has criticized women in a harsher fashion than even I have. Numerous times. In this direct way, where he does not approve, supposedly, of this kind of, this kind of woman in terms of her character, but also this kind of decision. He said in the past he does not approve of this. But the minute he gets some fucking pussy, he gets a taste of that puss from a girl that doesn't respect him, according to leaked DMs and shit, which is great. Big thumbs up, bro, where she doesn't respect you. Like, people are saying he's been mislabeled a simp when he's a cuck. To be honest, based on the definitions, and I'm not like an 4chan expert who's coming up with this shit, or Urban Dictionary or whatever, I would say that he may actually be a bigger simp than he is a cuck, because when it comes to the aspect of like the white knighting simp, what was once called a fedora tipper but is now a simp, like overly adoring, overly permissive, and that sort of thing, he is that. Like, that is in fact what he's doing in his actions, because he has lambasted women in the past for this kind of behavior, and now he is on his knees defending this to the nth degree, to the end, like staking his fucking reputation on it. And there's a lot of people that are especially mad, and there's people, decent people trying to give him the benefit of the doubt and basically trying to defend the girl's actions, and it's like, that is its own separate category. Like, if you want to, you and I can sit here and I can explain to you the ethical difference between a girl being a model in a catalog, or on a swimsuit edition of Sports Illustrated where she's selling a bikini. Like, there's a whole separate category of how a man should act with his girlfriend, what he should allow her to do, what he should defend, how he should stick up for her, what is her role in this, the fact that she's a hypocrite, the action itself. Then there's the category of, like I just laid out, like modeling, advertising, marketing, you representing a product or a brand, like that is respectable and that is real and that has existed for an incredibly long time. And it is fine if, in my view, if a girl is very attractive and she's modeling swimsuits and it's very tasteful, maybe a little bit titillating, but it's going in a catalog or it's representing a brand. Like, there's degrees in which that if you're the boyfriend and she's doing that, you could say, well, I'm at these photo shoots, I see you do this, and I'm not out here to defend all this philosophical Marxist bullshit. I'm just here to say that she's a model. I'm dating a model. This is what you can expect from her. I'm cool with it, but don't worry, I got my eyes open as to any fucking, assholes coming around trying to dick her and that sort of deal, or swoon her, or try to take her off of me, that sort of thing. Don't worry, I'm watching out for it. You don't have to worry about me. But the problem is that his video defense for it, which I'm not even sure if I'm going to link, because it's just not worth watching. It was a terrible fucking... That is the video in my mind that says, yeah, like people calling him a simp and others saying, oh, he's not really a simp. It's like, yeah, he kind of is. He is kind of just a simp. Like this, again, the fedora tipping aspect to it is through and through that shitty video. So I understand that people want to be fair about this drama, and that's fine. But irrespective of the fact that he's going to be fine after this, because he's too big. When it comes to YouTube, it is just too big to fail. Like, you can fuck up over and over again. You are just too big to fail. Like, I don't think there's any action that one could take that could fuck your channel permanently. Like, you basically have to decide to stop uploading content and that sort of deal. Or you have some sort of bad reaction to your own fan base, something, and that kills you. But if Ian basically was a cuck, like an outright cuck, all you would have to do is just keep uploading content, and nothing would come as a direct result of it. He could be a total fucking hypocrite and all the rest of it, and have a serious blow to his reputation. It wouldn't matter. Because unfortunately on YouTube, it's just, it doesn't really matter. Like, you could rob people, you could do whatever the fuck. Get people killed. Like, look at the Jake Paul, or whoever the fuck it was, with the Suicide Forest stunt. Like, even YouTube was out there flacking for him, you know what I mean? Like, nothing is going to kill your channel once you're big enough. And I think that that's an unfortunate part of YouTube, because as much as there are witch hunts and that sort of thing, when you are proven to be a naked hypocrite in terms of what you said in the past, to the degree that you've said it especially, that to me is the real problem here. To the degree that you're using stronger language than I have as it relates to women of this ilk, and yet here you are, like, white knighting, using feminist rhetoric and shit in defense of her, bro, that's pathetic. You're pathetic. I gotta say, that to me is the real problem here. It's not what she's necessarily doing, even though I don't approve of that either. Here's one angle to this, too. Philosophically, do I think prostitution should be legal? Under my personal philosophy, yes. Practically, do I think prostitution should be legal? No. Question, why? What is the distinction between my philosophical position and the practical position? The reason being, the minute they legalize prostitution, or whatever is similar to that, okay? You will have feminist parades, feminist marches, feminist policy out the ass for the rest of time. Not that it's really different now, but more so. It'll be more extreme. You will have constant marches of unionize my pussy and all this shit. You can laugh at that. I'm not joking. It will be worse than it is now. It will be endless. It'll never go away. And it will form a permanent interest group that will act in a fashion that will be against my political and self-interest. So when it comes to prostitutes, philosophically, I think prostitution should be legalized. But in terms of my own political reality, keep it illegal and jail all prostitutes. Jail the pimps too. Jail all prostitutes. Jail all Johns. I don't really give a shit. Because I know that if it becomes legalized, it will harm my position politically. It will create a permanent NGO class of unionize my pussy bullshit feminist interest groups. More so than there is already. And they will be acting 24/7 to harm me politically. To harm my position in society. Not as a John, but as a man. Because as it stands already, whenever I hear all this shit about prostitution and all this nonsense, it's all from the feminist left. And we got enough of that already. Take that for what it is. If you want to debate me on something, debate me on that. Because philosophically, you know, I'm as much as a liberal as the next overly idealistic idiot. But the fact is that as much as I am a liberal, I fucking hate feminism. I fucking hate what it has done to this country. To this, what should have been an otherwise free and independent nation. It has created entire generations of intergenerations of parasites that live off the tax dollar, that expect the government to pay for everything, and the government does. And you can, as much as it is a joke, you can blame women's suffrage for this. And as much as people want to make that a meme, it's not much of a joke. If you look at polling and a lot of other factors, like, women are the reason why we have so many social welfare programs. And it doesn't mean that I'm not grateful for unemployment as I've now been laid off. It doesn't mean that some people don't need Medicare. It doesn't mean that some people don't need Social Security. Blah, 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 blah. I've had people in my personal life that had needed unemployment and other things because of unfortunate circumstances. You know, I spent the last 4 years of my fucking life investigating insurance claims. My father got injured severely. He didn't expect it. He thought he was in his prime. He was in his 40s at the time, and he thought he was hot shit. But he pushed himself beyond his physical limitations, in good reason. You know, he's trying to work hard and do right by the family. But he pushed himself. He got severely injured in the process, and he needed time off the job. But he got back to work very early, even beyond what his doctor wanted him to do. And that's the kind of guy he is, and I fucking respect it. But the fact is that we all need social welfare, blah, blah, blah. But the fact is that we live in a society where everyone and their grandmother is a fucking parasite. And I am the person paying for it. At least I was up until now, where I'm out of a job. So you can't, I mean, you can still tax me, but I don't know what income you're going to get out of me at this point. It's going to be Trump bucks and fucking your money anyways, because I'm out of a job. There's an ethical side of this as it relates to her behavior. And in my view, it's fucking indefensible. Every aspect of her hypocrisy, laziness, all of it. Her dismissal of Ian and all of it. Like, she is, by all accounts, a bad person, a hypocrite, and the rest of it. And fucking lazy. and nakedly so about everything, all of her bad behavior, nakedly so, not addressing a single word of it. Ian defending her is just the insult to injury. You know, he's the worst aspect to this because rather than be upfront, rather than be direct, rather than address what's been said and he has said, he just throws it all aside, dismisses every goddamn bit of it, and wants to just virtue signal as some kind of excuse making, as special pleading for why he's not a massive fucking hypocrite and why he has not taken a huge blow, rightfully so, to his reputation, which apparently has always been a persona. It's never been real. Because if it were, you would address it. Even fucking Ethan has tried to address his massive goddamn ego. Even he has had it has finally gotten to him to what his problem is. He just isn't willing to ever address it. He understands at least to what, not necessarily to a degree, but he understands what the criticism is. He's just not willing to work on himself. But with Ian, he's totally throwing that shit all aside. He don't care. He's big enough to put whatever bullshit out on his channel. He's going to get millions of views and everyone's going to thumb it up. Doesn't matter how bad it is or lazy it is or how much he's a hypocrite. Whatever. He's making money. He's fine. He will be fine. But it's that hypocrisy that I think a lot of people have a problem with, and that I think they're right. People can nitpick every fucking detail, whether he's a bigger simp than he is a cuck or whatever, or cuck than a simp. I think he's a fucking hypocrite. And to hell with him. If he's putting out decent content, maybe I could stand him being a fucking hypocrite. But being that he's uploading dog shit and has been for years, I unsubscribed from his channel months ago, and it's not changing. He's boring. He's not entertaining. And when it comes to YouTube, if I'm not entertaining, fucking unsubscribe. You know, if you find me boring, if I'm not entertaining you, you say, Louis, you're a fucking gigantic hypocrite, you're insufferable, whatever. Dude, unsubscribe then. Like, or, you know, address it, you know, that sort of deal. I should say that first, maybe. But this is a market of entertainers, entertainment, and voluntary transaction. And anytime that someone is acting in a way that you disapprove of, you should not feel any obligation to have to defend them. And I think that's another aspect of this that's disappointing, is like all the simps following this guy that are defending him in a way that is ridiculous. All his, like, you know, what you would call fanboys. I understand, like, whatever. The guy once had a reputation, but, bro, let's be fucking real. Like, this has significantly done damage to his persona. His persona, not him. His persona. Like, this guy's fucking reputation has fallen into the fucking grave. I don't see a way. I mean, this guy would have to get off his ass and start producing things that are worth a shit. Something worth watching in order for him to rebound from this. But I don't think he will. He's been lazy for years. And whatever. Like I said, I already unsubbed, so who cares? This video is not going to make a difference. My criticism is going to fall on deaf ears if it's even listened to. I've said this in the past, too, when it comes to my commentary on other channels. Like, I'm just reporting on what I see and how I genuinely feel, and I know that I'm going to preach to the choir, and that anyone who's coming from outside, they're going to listen to me, they're going to be like, fuck you, Louis! Fuck you! It's how it's always been. Even when in the case, you know, I've been proven right to a degree that is fucking absurd. Or I'm up here as fucking Negrodamus reporting what I think is going to happen and the way things are and the rest. My observations. It don't matter. People are like, fuck you, Louis, who cares anyways? It's like, okay, whatever. It's funny to the degree that people have come back, even still to this day, have watched my videos in the past where I've commented on other channels, and they're like, wow, holy shit, I can't believe you saw it coming to that degree. It's like, hey, I can only tell you what I see. I'm not that different from anybody else. I'm not, you know, astro projecting my fucking galaxy brain over the earth, and I can, you know, omnipresent and omniscient and all that. It's just, when it comes to reputation, ego, everything, even the content that you've produced in the past and everything else, your actions, I weigh what you've said and how you've truly acted. And that is what I look at. I look at your character. and I can cut through every other aspect that other people are clinging to, like them being friendly with you and other such things. None of that matters. I don't care if he's a friend of somebody else. I don't care what he's done in the past. I don't care who he's associated with. I don't care that he's talented and has success and all this shit. All that matters are your actions and your character as a person and what you said and how you act. If you are failing to live up to what you said in the past, if you are failing to live up the character that you've presented to all of us, I'm just going to say what I see. And that's going to be the end of it. If you fail to live up to who you say you are, then that's just the case as it is. And me reporting that, that's just me uploading some content on this channel. That's it. In the case of iDubbbz, in the case of Ian, he is a massive hypocrite. And unfortunately, he's too successful, so he is going to get away with it. The only funny part is the fact that my prediction is this relationship is not going to work. And sometime in the future, probably, I'll give it like, let's say a year. And they're just going to break up quietly. I doubt it's going to be a big drama. Even though that would be in her ballpark to do. But it's probably just going to die out, and that's going to be the end of it. And all this will, him sacrificing, falling on the sword for this fucking whore, is going to be for nothing. That's my prediction. Because you never fall on your sword like this unless you're going to fucking marry this chick. That's the only fucking way. And when you do, it's that fucking Sopranos perspective of, once she has your last name, like, you need to lay down the fucking law at that point.
How many times I gotta tell you, get control of your wife?
But until then, like, you're stupid for doing so, because why is it even worth it? You're throwing away your reputation for nothing. However, it's not my decision to make, so he can go be a simp in his own right. And people, again, you could disagree with the definition and all that. I think there's validity to it. I think there is validity to people calling him a simp. I know that people want to differ with the distinction of the definitions, but no, I'm saying based on the behavior, based on his behavior, he is a simp. So say what you will, Paul Joseph Watson was right. Even if he was just being flippant about his labeling, I think he's right. And I think I'm right. And I think everyone who's criticizing him is right. Fuck his reputation. Fuck what he's done in the past. That doesn't matter. What is he doing now? I will leave it there. Thanks for listening.